Merry Christmas, Dad. Here's a few ideas on how to use the little bits and pieces we got you for Christmas to help keep that spine nice and loose and the lower back not giving you grief. So grab your foam roller. Hold on. There we go. Right, so I've got foam roller, and I'm just going to globally roll from all the way top of my thoracic spine, just a little bit into my lumbar spine. I've got my chin on my chest. Just there and back. All of my spine's in flexion doing this. Doesn't matter if you get any pops. Good. Okay, so spend 90 seconds to 2 minutes doing that. And then we're going to encourage a little bit of extension through your thoracic spine. So you're a tiny bit rounded up there. So just going to encourage the spine to move the other way. So I go to round about T12 position, hands on the back of the head. And I'm going to try not to let this come too much from my lower back. If that moves as well, it's not a problem. I'm going to arch over the roll as much as possible. Then come back up to the top. Little pause in the extreme of position. So a little pause on down here. So I want you to do 10 slow repetitions with a little pause right down at the bottom. Right, from here, you're going to get your lacrosse ball. We're going to pop it into your QL. We'll try and get it there. Whoa! Oh dear. So if you think I'm just below bottom rib, just above pelvis, and I don't want any direct pressure on the spine or any of the vertebrae. So just here, I'm managing the pressure with my forearm, but you can get to lift the hips up. Woo! And just slowly move around that area. Oh my! And yeah, give that 90 seconds each side. Fairly uncomfy that. You won't thank me for that one. Okay. And after that, and I haven't actually got one of these at the moment for myself. You've got like a peanut shaped ball, and the idea is that your vertebrae sit in the middle, so they don't get any direct pressure. But you can roll up and down your lumbar erectors, multifidus. So you put it underneath your spine, and you fairly well just roll up and down, all the way up, all the way down. And I want you to do that for 2 minutes. Right. After that, we're just going to go knee side to side. So letting them be nice and heavy. So if here we're getting the lumbar spine to rotate, and then we're going to pull the knees over to one side, and just use your foam roller and pin the top knee. Reach out with the bottom hand, and without losing pressure on the foam roller, I'm going to try and get my hand to the floor the other side. So a little bit of shoulder mobility, but also you're encouraging that thoracic spine to move. Oh, dear me. Now do 12 repetitions on each side there. After you've done that, to your feet. And we're just going to do some lateral flexion. So without folding forwards at all, just going as far down to one side as we can. And just spend 30 seconds being really nice and fluid. And then at the end of the 30 seconds, I want you to narrow your stance. Grab your right wrist with left hand, go over the top. Push your hips out to the right. And pull your arm to the left as much as you can. 30-second hold. And then repeat the other side. From there, we're at 90 seconds cat cameling. Dun, 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 dun. After that, we stand up. We're just going to do a forward slump. So I'm just letting arms go heavy. You're linking out all of your posterior chain here. So it's calves, hamstrings, bum, lower back, everything. So just keep breathing, and then just slowly hands over to the right, hands over to the left. And spend 90 seconds doing that, and just don't force it, breathe, and just try and get your hands a little bit closer to the floor. Right, so that's lower back. Now you've got something called a Theracane. So this gruesome piece, it doesn't look like this, it's got the little rollers on it, but it's for massaging, it's still for soft tissue work, but it's much easier for doing calves and hamstrings and getting enough pressure. So we know that your calf's ridiculous tight, you know your hamstrings are, so just give them a little roll out, and then once you've done that, give them a little stretch afterwards. So for your hamstrings, something like this, and for your calves, my favourite one is dropping. I'll do it over here. Is getting your foot as flush to the wall as possible, and then making the distance between the wall and your hip as little as possible. You just let gravity do its thing, and it will lengthen up nicely. I hope that is in some way useful. Loads of love, Dad. Bye. Merry Christmas.